Hello, ladies and gentlemen. MarauderEX here with a new Let's Play. Except it's not new; it's a redo. But I really feel like now is the best time to redo this game. It's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I mean, you know, you're going to see the title of it, so it's not a surprise or anything. But yeah, this game, I really feel like this is the best time to do it because Castlevania is super popular right now because Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood just got announced as a re-released for PS4. The Castlevania Netflix series is super popular, and, you know, it's October, so it's the spoopy month, and this just seems like a great thing to do throughout this. Plus, I've done Symphony of the Night before, but I did it forever ago, and I redid Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness because they were really dark, really kind of crap quality at the time. But I never went back and redid this one, but I went back and redid those, and I don't know why. So, I'm going to redo this one. It's the perfect time for it. So, we're going to start a new game, and we can use my normal name. This time I'm not going to spell it wrong. Marauder. So, here we go. Journeying back to 1792 in the Transylvanian countryside of Romania. Yeah, this is just a classic. It really is. I thought about doing the Saturn version, but the Saturn version doesn't do well with the Framemeister. And quite frankly, the Saturn version is kind of inferior. It has some extra stuff, but it was just a really poorly put together port, mostly because Konami didn't do it themselves. They kind of they handed it off to someone else. But it's Castlevania. This game is just, it's iconic. So I'm super excited to be replaying this again because it's awesome. And this one links more to the Netflix show, mostly because, you know, Trevor, Alucard. Granted, Trevor doesn't actually show up in this one. He gets mentioned in passing. But Alucard being the main character. Like, that's... Here we go. And Bloodlines. We get to start this game by beating the previous game, which that should be a clue as to how epic this game is. You started off by beating the other game. So here's the fantastic audio.
Time, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Sorry, I have to let that play out. Like, it is just, it's iconic. It is iconic. Just so iconic. And I've taken a hit. There are things that you can get for not taking any damage or having a certain number of hearts, or health, or there's a lot of things that can start off your playthrough with Alucard, depending on how the fight with Richter here goes. Not worrying about it. So, yeah. Just doing my thing. One thing I was thinking about, this game's getting kind of an interesting resurgence because I really think the old school companies that, you know, are seeing how things are going lately are wanting to be like, yeah, no, our properties don't suck. Like, we had the thing with, you know, Mighty Number 9 and then Mega Man 11 got announced. And we have, what is it? Bloodstained by Koji Igarashi, who worked on this game. He was the one who developed this game. Like, he's the one who made the Igavania, the Metroidvania style for Castlevania. And Bloodstained's not out yet. I've enjoyed what I've played of it from all the demos, but I have a feeling that, what is it? Konami. It's like, yeah, no, we want to be like, yeah, no, our game doesn't completely suck, so don't think the game completely sucks. Like, Castlevania's still important to us. We like to pretend like Castlevania's still important to us, even though we haven't really done a thing with it since, you know, that kind of adult pachinko machine. So, all right, first form done, and now we're gonna just Hydro Storm the hell out of him, and game over. So, yeah, because Hydro Storm is broken as sin. And now, the epic voiceover. It was Richter Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter, who succeeded in finally ending the menace of Count Dracula, Lord of the Vampires, who had been brought back from the grave by the dark priest Shaft. Talking about Shaft. However, one night 4 years later, under the glare of a full moon, Richter mysteriously vanished. With no idea where to begin her search, Maria Renard set out to look for him. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania! The castle of Dracula, which was rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from out of the mist as if to show her the way. Meanwhile, powerful forces were struggling for the soul of a man named Alucard. The very same Alucard who had teamed up with Trevor Belmont to battle his immortal father, Count Vlad Tepes Dracula. Alucard, in order to purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, he submerged his vampiric powers and entered into what was supposed to be an eternal slumber. But now he is awake and aware of the evil once again at work in his homeland. The time has come once again for the forces of good and evil to engage in their ancient battle. Dracula's castle beckons for you, and no man can say who shall emerge victorious. The good guys. Otherwise, you get a game over. So, like, if the only way it stops is if you stop playing. Like, that's the that's the story. Castlevania. Yeah, I think that's actually one of the reasons why Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood got re-released, or at least announced for re-release, because, you know, Bloodstained's right around the corner. The Netflix show, like, Konami wants to be like, yeah, no, we're remembering that Castlevania is a popular franchise. We want to do stuff with it. We just don't know what to do with it at the moment, you know? Like, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what to do. It's a weird time in gaming. Like, people are all over the place. All right, so it is now time to wreck shit. Let's go kill things. We get our teleport slash because we've got all this fancy, fantastic equipment. It's all, like the sword, the shield, and the armor are all named after us. When you have that much equipment named after you, it's pretty important. Twilight Cloak, a cape for vampires. Defensive necklace of J. I don't know what the J is supposed to be. Joker? What? Dragon Helm frightens enemies, lowers defense. Like, it lowers their defense, I guess, because they're frightened. And I'm about to say, where's the lights? There's the lights. And hey, some zombies. Zombies coming up the hill right now. Shoot him in the head. Grab the shotgun. You don't need to load it. We did that shit for you. I will also say, if you want to deal with, like, conditioned behavior, play a Castlevania game. Because right now, I cannot stop attacking candlesticks. And, like, I get nothing from them, but it's like, oh, I see a candlestick? I have to do this. I have to attack the candlesticks. I don't know why. It's... Well, got hit by a bat. But, like, I see a candlestick, I gotta attack it. Get nothing from it until I get the relic. But I'm like, oh, hey, look. Let's do that. Alright, so, I'm gonna hang out for a second, kill some fishmen. You know, Bob Fishman. And get to, like, level 5-ish? Seems like a good area. Like, I'm level 3. Because we're going to lose all of our fancy equipment. I mean, I don't know why I'm explaining it. If you haven't played Symphony of the Night, I strongly recommend that you stop watching my video and go play it yourself. Like, it is a game that needs to be played. It is... This is really, in my opinion, kind of the pinnacle of the Metroidvania or Igavania styles. Like, there's just so much to this game. I remember I had a Saturn growing up, and so I never actually got to play this game in its heyday until later on. But I had a subscription to EGM2, which was Electronic Gaming Monthly's strategy guide subscription, which they did a magazine that had parts of strategy guides each month. So, and that's what? Level 5. Perfect. And I had gotten it for some of my Saturn games. So, like, Albert Odyssey was actually the game that I had. And the Symphony of the Night was also going on at the same time. So I was sitting here looking at the strategy guide for Symphony of the Night thinking, what is this game? It seems so complex. Because it had all of the drops for enemies and just seeing how ridiculous things were. Like, you could get a neutron bomb from these guys. Or, like, I'm like, what is this? So crazy. And some more fantastic voice acting.
What is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your attack.
I will not.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
And death just stole all of my crap. So now I'm basically naked. Except not, because Alucard's not naked. That'd be a little fan servicey, but you know, I think there's a market for that, really. Alright, can I make it? Yes, I can. We get our heart max up. Our heart grew 3 sizes that day. But yeah, so like I was just reading the strategy guide for Symphony of the Night as it got published each month, and it's like, I want to play this game. Like, it's so ridiculous. I just have to try it. And since, you know, it was the first, there's just so much to it. They're like, okay, yeah, this is amazing. And I think part of it's probably the nostalgia, but it's you know, it had an impact on me, you know? So, yeah. That's a thing. But I also do kind of miss having all the creature comforts. Like, I now get the first relic, the Cube of Zoe, which I will refer to as the Horadric Cube. And that now gives me the ability to get things from candlesticks. So we can now get things from candlesticks. So I guess that's something the Belmonts had, because they've always been able to do that. But first up, the Alchemy Laboratory, where we are going to make a Philosopher's Stone to help get Ed and Al their bodies back. We'll actually settle for a Hide Cuirass. I've actually been thinking, like, how awesome would it be if, like, in some of the re-releases of this game, that, you know, you got to, there's like a skeleton, like, wandering around that's kind of special, just named Edward or Alphonse or something. It's like, hey, that's a fantastic little nod. I would love to see that, actually. Like, I get that it's never going to happen, but that's just something that I would find immensely entertaining. Alright, let's go down here, and we're going to turn off this Bunsen burner, and it's going to turn into a shield. Don't ask. I don't know. I do not understand the logic behind that, but now we've got a leather shield. It's leathery. I don't know. And I'm playing this mostly off of memory to start with. Give it some time and I'll need a map, but like I do remember a fair bit of this. So get that, and we get our first life max up. I feel more adult already. And over here, broken wall. And our heart grew 2 sizes this episode. Not quite level of the Grinch. We get our first sub-weapon. And I sometimes say just call them weapons. But they are sub-weapons because our weapons are in a consensual BDSM relationship. So, you know, keep that in mind. The first sub-weapon we get is the dagger, which just kind of, we throw a dagger. It's actually quite useful, especially against these guys, because it takes 2 hits to kill those guys, as opposed to like 3 hits with my current sword. So, not as useful against the axe armors, but like I can throw out a bunch of daggers. We also don't get the Belmont crash attacks. So like if I get the holy water, I don't get Hydrostorm. We don't get the 1,000 dagger type thing. Like, we don't get all the fun attacks. So that kind of sucks, but you know, I guess that's the advantage of being a Belmont. And that's actually the advantage of playing the game as Richter, because you know, if you beat the game, you get to play as Richter. And in the Saturn version, you can actually play as Maria as well. So, things to keep in mind if you want to subject yourself to the Saturn version of this game. You should be dead. I thought I did the math for that, but apparently not. I did not math well. But I mean, anyone who's watched this channel for any appreciable length of time should know I don't math well. Alright, so we're here at the save point. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here, and I will see you all in the next installment. But yeah, I'm going to be playing through Symphony of the Night. We're going to make this the next thing, and I'm super excited to be playing through this. It's going to be great. So I will see you all in the next installment. So till then, later everyone.